Welcome back, everybody. So we are in the home stretch of completing your first website with Builderall. So let's get started. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody, how to sort of just relaunch your site, how to get into your site. If let's say you log out and you come back in. So when you come back into Builderall, you definitely want to go into Builders, and then you want to go into the drag and drop. And then when you go to My Sites, right, it's going to show you all the sites that you have, right? So you could see right now, I only have this site right here. And to go back in and edit it and make changes, all you got to do is go right here to edit and then click, and then it will take you to where you left off. Now, one thing I want to remind everybody is you got to make sure to save your work, right? Because if you don't save your work and you close out, it's going to bring you to, where the pages or the information you last saved. Now you can see you will get this alert. So right now it's alerting me to configure the email opt-in box that we created. So it will alert you to configure that. So that's what this alert is. So let's close that. Okay. So this course we're going to talk about, or this video, we're going to talk about these 4 things right here. So I'm going to show you how to configure the social media icons. I'm going to show you how to set up a contact page, configure your email sign-up form, and then I'm going to show you how to configure the order button, right? This order button right here. So if you put a button on your page, I'll show you how to configure that. Okay, so let's get started first of all with the social media icons. So these icons right here. So to configure it, like to add in, your Facebook or Twitter, all you need to do is right click, and then we want to go to image. Okay. So in here, this is where you could sort of update everything. So it's going to start off with Facebook. Right, so the title's Facebook, right, the title for the image. And then this is where you'd put in the link to your Facebook page, or, wherever you want it to be redirected to. So you copy the link and put it in here and then confirm, and that's it. On the left-hand side over here, let's say that you don't have all of these social medias and you want to remove one. So if you want to remove, let's say, either one, let's say Facebook, you just highlight it and there'll be an X there, right, over each one. So you could remove any one of them you want. Right, you can remove them if you don't have one of them. Okay, so that's how you configure it. Now, if you want a different design, so let's say you wanted one of the other designs, right? You'd have to just right click and then delete it, and then you'd have to go back into where I showed everybody to set up and bring in another design. Okay, so that's the only way to change the design, of the layout. All right, so that's it for the social media icons. So let's look at what's next on our list. Okay, setting up a contact page. Okay, so what we're going to do is to set up the contact page is we're going to go over here, click on this icon, go into our default, click on the arrow right here, and then we are going to add a page here. Okay, so click on the add a page, and for this page we are going to add a blank page. Click on blank page. And then we're just click on blank. All right, and we're going to call this contact page, or contact us. Let's call it that. So contact us. That's going to be the name of the page. All right. Okay, so now it defaults to our contact page, and you can see right there, right? It shows us we're working on the contact page. Now, what we want to do is we want to add a contact form. So just let everybody know there's 2 types of forms. Right, one is a contact form where somebody would put in their information and then you'll get notified, right, by email. The other form is like what we set up. This one is to join your list, right? So it will be connected with your autoresponder or whatever service you have connected to it. But the form we're working on right now is going to be a contact form, so somebody could put in their information and you get notified by email. So to do that, you just basically come over here and you click on the plus sign, and then we're going to scroll down to contact right here. Okay. Now there's a whole bunch of forms like sort of pre-done. So you can just select one. So let's select, I think this one is the best one right here. So let's click on that. Okay, close up, and you can see right here, right? So it loads right in the page. And then we can just adjust it like this, so adjust it so it fits our screen. All right, so let's move it down like that. All right, so let's just adjust this. Okay, move this down. All right, so we're just adjusting it so this fits into the page here. All right, okay, so there we go. Sort of fits into this page. Let me just make some more room here. There we go. Let's make some more room right here. There we go, right? So it sort of fits into the page right there. Okay, perfect. So you can see our form is nicely in our page right there. Now, let's talk about configuring the form or the contact form. So to configure it and to set it up, what we want to do is you want to right click and then go to configure, okay? This is where you can configure everything about this form. So over here, you want to click on edit. So now, like what I mentioned, this form, when somebody puts in their information, you're going to get an email. So this is where you're going to configure everything. So if you want to put in your email address, the email address you'd like to receive the information. So you put your email address in there. So whatever it is, and you could put more than one email address in here. So to add multiple contacts, separate email addresses with a comma. And then you want to put in a subject. So it could be, contact list from, your company, whatever you want to do, right? And then these are all the actions you just want to set up, right? This one's really interesting. You could choose a list of coupons, right? So like basically after they submit the form, you can have it where they get a coupon to purchase something from your site, right? So this is where you'd set all that good stuff up. Right, this is where you set up like the action to be taken. So what should happen when submitting the form? So that's where you'd set that up. And then this is where you can edit the automatic message. So once somebody hits send, in this case, you could set up where an automatic message will be sent to the person, like, thank you, we have received your message. We will respond to you in 24 to 40 hours, like whatever you want to say, right? But this is where you'd set up everything you want for the form. Okay, so let's hit cancel, and then let's get exit out of here. Now let's talk about the actual design and appearance, right? So if you want to change that, we're going to right click and then you want to go into appearance, right? And this is where you could change everything with regards to this, the font, the spacing, everything. So let's go to this one, form labels. So again, this is where you change the font. You can have it centered, centered or not. Change the label colors. So everything right now it's in black. Move this up a little bit. Okay, and then let's click on this one. Scroll all the way down. So this is where you could change like the spacing. So I'll show everybody here. Right, so you could change the field spacing. You can change the height. Right, so if you want to make it a little bit smaller. All right, and again, right, you could change like the corners right here. Right, you can change everything, all right in here. Now the colors, all right, so this is the default colors. So if you want to change that to, right, whatever the colors you want to change to, and if you want, you could add a border around it. So let's add a border. Let's add, it's blue. There we go. Add borders around it. I think that looks okay, right? Or do you want to change it to a green? I think the blue looks good. All right, so this is where you change everything. And then we can change the style of the button, right? We can change everything. So you can see right now, right, it's a green. So if you want to change it to, I don't know, blue, right? There you go. And then you could change the hover over. So if you want to change it to a lighter blue, right, you can sort of see. Actually, so this one, we got to change it right here, sorry. Change it right here to the hover over. All right, that's where you change that there. Okay, and again, right? So this is where you change everything to the form. So that, with regards to the contact form, that is pretty much it with regards to setting it up and changing the design and how it looks, all right? Okay, so let's have a look at what's left on our list. So let's talk about configuring now the email setup. Actually, before I go into that, let me just address one thing. So let's talk about now adding this into the menu here, okay? Because you can see we have a menu, but our contact form is not in it. So let me show you how to add that in. So you right click on the menu, and then what you want to do is you want to go to configure. All right, and then want to click on our little wheel right here. And you can see this form now, or this new page that we created is right there. So to add it, all you just need to do is to drag and drop. That's it. Okay. And then you click on confirm. And then now you can see, right, it is automatically in our menu right there. So then all we just need to do is to, let me scroll up a little bit. You know, if it fits on the page, great. If you want to move it over, you could definitely move it over a little bit. Right, and then you can just sort of adjust it right there. So that's how you add it into the menu. All right, so now let's talk about what we're going to talk about now. So how to configure your email setup form. All right, so let's save our work. Okay, save it. Perfect. All changes, save it. Okay, and then let's go back to the home page. Let's go back to the home page. Okay, this is our home page. All right, so to configure this, right, all you just need to do right here is just right click and go to configure. And when you go to configure, these are all of the email platforms you could work with, like what I mentioned, right? With Builderall, they have their own, which is called Mailing Boss. But if, let's say, you're using something else like MailChimp or Aweber or GetResponse, so this is where you just select it, and then it will walk you through how to set it up so that when somebody submits their information, they're going to join your list. Okay, so that's how you configure that. And then the last thing on our list of things to talk about is configure the order button. All right, so let's go back up and I'll show everybody how to do that. So any button that you add to your site, to configure it, again, just right click and then you want to go to the action. So you have a bunch of options you have, right? So for example, you could have no action. You could have them go to a different page. You could have it go to like a phone number where they phone you. You can have it go to a pop-up, a video. So these are all of the options that you can have. You can even set up a payment, right? So to configure whatever you want to happen, right? This is where you configure it. You configure it where they can download a document, another external address. You configure like an email. So whatever you want to do, this is where you would set up the button or whatever action you'd like to take after the person clicks on that button. All right, and I think that is it for this video. So we covered everything. So we talked about configuring the social media icons. We talked about setting up a contact page, and I showed everybody how to add that in the menu. We talked about configuring your email sign-up form, and then I showed you how to configure the order button or any button that you add to your site. So I'll see everybody in the next video.